Hello everyone, and welcome to our video presentation of properties of water. This is brought to you by Nanika Venugopal, Jeffrey Zhao, and your narrator for today, Harshit Sridharan. During this presentation, one thing we can assure is that you will understand why water is so cool. The first property of water that makes it so cool is that it can stick to itself. This is better known as cohesion. We tested cohesion on quarters using an eyedropper, graduated cylinder, water, and salt water. First, we counted how many drops it would take to fill 1 milliliter in the graduated cylinder. Then we predicted how many cubic centimeters would fit on the surface of the quarter without spilling. We predicted 20 drops for tap water, but actually the average was 35.3 drops. For salt water, we predicted 25 drops. However, the mean average was 30.67 drops. Our experiment found that 2.33 cubic centimeters of water fits on a quarter without spilling, while only 2 cubic centimeters of salt water fit on the quarter. It's important to note that the water sticks to itself and doesn't spill right away. It bulges on the top of the quarter. Less cubic centimeters of salt water fit on the surface compared to tap water. This is all due to electronegativity. First of all, oxygen has a higher electronegativity than hydrogen in a water molecule. Shared electrons, then, spend more time around the oxygen atom, making the oxygen atom slightly more negative and the hydrogen atom slightly positive. Electronegativity creates hydrogen bonds between other water molecules. The negative oxygen atoms are attracted to positive hydrogen atoms because opposites attract. These intermolecular bonds are called hydrogen bonds. Because of these strong bonds, water can stick to itself and create high surface tension. High surface tension is the reason why water striders are able to walk on water. The legs of these water striders are coated with a hydrophobic substance that repels water. If the substance was hydrophilic, the molecules would form intermolecular bonds with the water, causing water striders to sink. Going back to the experiment, we want to ask, why do less drops of salt water fit on the quarter? Well, the H2O molecules also have intermolecular bonds with NaCl, table salt molecules. This leaves less bonds for other H2O molecules. The water doesn't stick to itself as much, which means less drops fit on the quarter. The next property that makes water so cool is that it can stick to other things. This is known as adhesion. Well, how well does water stick to other things? We tested this using wax paper, a glass slide, quarter, water, and an eye drop. We predicted how these three types of media, how the shape of water when put onto these types of media would look. Our predictions and results are shown here. Water takes a flat bubble shape on the quarter, which is accurate in our prediction and results. Water takes a bubble shape on the wax paper, not as wide as the quarter, but a little taller in a bubble shape. Water is mostly flat on the glass slide, which means water sticks to the wax paper the most. Water can stick to the quarter, but not stick as well. And the glass slide did not prove water to stick very well. Now, the secret to water's adhesive property. The same bonds that cause cohesion can be formed between molecules of other hydrophilic substances, for example, glass. Adhesive forces pull water to other materials. Now, there's many differences between wax paper and a glass slide. First of all, wax paper is hydrophobic, meaning that water's adhesive force is weaker than its cohesiveness, causing a round bubble to form. Glass slides are hydrophilic, means water's adhesive force overpowers its cohesion and would rather stick to the glass, causing a flat splatter. Now, adhesion in real life is very apparent in water transportation in plants. As you know, water has to be transported against gravity from the roots to the xylem. Water's adhesive property allows it to stick to the insides of the xylem. This property lets water be available for the ever so important process of photosynthesis. Detergents are pretty cool too when it comes to adhesion. Water can't form strong intermolecular bonds with dirt or grease to remove them. But have no fear, detergent is here. Detergent molecules have a hydrophobic and hydrophilic end. They can form bonds with water on one side and dirt and grease on the other. When water is flushed away, the detergent, dirt, and grease go with it. Now, another experiment we conducted had to do with solvency, meaning that water can break things apart, another quality that makes water so very interesting. We use this using chromatography paper, markers, stopwatches, and a graduated cylinder. We first made a solid dot on the chromatography paper, made a triangular tip, dipped it into the water, and recorded every 5 minutes. Recorded what happened every 5 minutes. And as you can see, the height of the marker, the dot, moved up the paper quite significantly as time progressed. The marker also split into different colors. This timeline shows that the water moved up the paper very quickly in the first 10 minutes. The original blue dot separated into blue and green. By 15 minutes and 25 minutes, the water started to slow down. Moving up the paper. The color pink also appeared on the chromatography paper. Now, chromatography is completed, but don't fear, I am here to do that. Capillary action, first of all, the cohesive adhesive property and surface tension of water allows it to travel up the paper. Water travels up, and the components that make up the marker dot, are attracted to water. Every color is attracted to water differently, which means that they move up at different rates. This non-polar color molecule will have a weaker attraction to the water molecule. Now, water can also absorb a lot of heat and release a lot of heat. This quality is known as high specific heat. This chart shows the heating curve of water, where it starts with ice, moves to melting, becomes water, evaporates, and becomes steam. The temperature is stagnant because the energy from the heat goes to the process of changing state. Because this requires a lot of energy, water has a very high specific heat capacity. Also, because hydrogen bonds are pretty strong, it takes a lot of energy to break them when increasing the temperature. This is another reason why water has a very high specific heat capacity. In real life, we see that specific heat capacity comes into play when regulating ocean temperatures so aquatic animals can thrive, prevents the water inside plants from freezing, and also helps cool down machinery, for example, car engines. To sum up this entire video presentation into one word would be quite simple actually, because all of water's cool property, the secret word behind all of this, is polarity. Now, just for a second, just 1 second, let's imagine that water was non-polar. Let me tell you, it would not be very cool. The covalent bonds between the hydrogen atoms and the oxygen atoms would be non-polar instead of polar. Water will no longer have its unique properties due to its inability to create strong intermolecular bonds. If the electronegativity of oxygen is equal to the electronegativity of hydrogen, water would be non-polar, have no unique properties, would not be very cool. Because this is not true, because of electronegativity, because of the hydrogen bonds, water is able to be cohesive, adhesive, have solvency, and have a high specific heat capacity. Now we know why water is so cool. We hope you had as much fun listening to this presentation as we did making it. Thank you for watching.